What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy BT, and today we have this dash cam from FITCAMX for the Acura MDX. This time we're looking at the installation of a front and rear dash cam. All right, so here we are with the dash cam from FITCAMX. This is for the Acura MDX. We're actually installing this on a Type S today. This kit is actually a front and rear camera setup. So here we have our accessories box. We'll go ahead and open that up in here. Inside, we're going to find a wire harness and a trim tool, along with a micro SD USB reader. All right, so in the big box here, this is where we are going to find the dash camera for the rear. And we also have the dash camera for the front. So in the rear package, we will find 5 wire holders in case those are needed, along with the wire itself. We also have a little card in here in case you need any support help. And then inside is the manual, which also gives you some instructions here, so you can scan that code if you need to get instructions on how to install the camera, as well as QR codes for the apps themselves. All right, so this is how simple the installation is. The first portion of the installation can be installed by putting up the front camera. And as you can see here, this additional wire harness here allows you to plug in the rear camera. So imagine this is your rear setup here, all the way in the back. You run your wires, you hook it up into here for the rear, and then we have our harness here that we hook this into for the front, and make sure you are aligning those 2 lines right there before you slide that in, and it'll click into place. So here we have the front installation, which is basically prepped and ready to go. We also have on the side here an SD card. This one has a 64 gigabyte SD card in there. You just push on the card to release it, and then you push it back in to lock it in place. You'll hear the little click go. We also have a power button here, and you can take photos as well of anything you want to capture while you're driving. So you also have a trim tool here. This will come in handy as you're installing the rear wire in the car. As you can see, this attaches in the rear with tape. So we'll get that camera lens ready to go there. And it also shows you which side to point up. So that's very helpful as well. Just remember when you're installing this to make sure that the bottom bump out here is facing down. And that's a quick way to know if your camera is installed correctly. So the first thing for this installation we're going to do is start with the front camera, and as we run the rear camera, we might have excess cable that we'll tuck away in the back. So we're going to start from the front and head to the back. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is, if you see here in this spot right here above the plastic line, there's a little spot you can kind of push on. You're going to want to get your hands pressed on both sides. So what that allows you to do is to pull this piece down. Once you have that piece down, this is the area here that we're going to be working with to install the harness. So we're going to go ahead, kind of move this mirror out the way so we get a little working space. Push down on this button here. I'm going to kind of hold this, push down on it, and then pull up. There we go. So we pull up to get that out the way. All right, so the next thing we do here, we have our front-facing camera. What we're going to do is take this end of the harness, and we're going to plug it into here, have that snap in place. Then we're going to take this part of the harness and we're going to plug it into this spot right here, have that click into place. And now it's a matter of just kind of organizing those wires so that everything fits neatly in its place. All right, so after you get everything kind of tucked in the best that you can, the next thing we're going to do is get this thing locked in place. So after you get everything in place as good as possible, then we get everything aligned here. All right, so after you get everything aligned. It might take a little while, but after you get everything aligned, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our rear wire and we're going to get it started to, we're gonna tuck it up above here. So this is where that trim tool is gonna come in handy to get this locked in place here. Kind of pull down on that just enough to slide it in, get it in place, and then you can slide it over. Then all we're gonna do is we're gonna take our tool here and help us run it along the side here. Then we're just gonna have to tuck this thing in place to continue to run it along the side of the car here until we get it to the back. And once we get to this section here, we'll just pull this back a little bit and we'll go ahead and we'll tuck this up in place. And then you just run the wire up here, pull the gasket down and tuck it up into place there to conceal it as it runs along the side. And that's the entire process we're going to take to get it all the way to the back. We're almost at the halfway point, so you can see how simple it is to get this installed. As you get to the back corner here, just take your time and be patient. It is a little tighter, but again, just take your time and be patient. You'll be able to get it in, and before you know it, you'll be to the back and finishing off the installation. All right, now when we get to this section here, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna pull down to release the tabs holding this in place. And what we're gonna do is we're going to pass this through to make it through the other side. So a lot of the excess is gonna end up being tucked away up here, but we're gonna go ahead and pass this through. So this is where we're working now, where we're gonna pass this wire through this section here. Like so. And again, this is probably where we're gonna have the rest of the excess wire live. So we can go ahead and start kind of tucking that away in place here, because we are gonna have quite a bit of excess here to tuck away. All right, and so once you've got the majority of your wire tucked away, we'll find our spot to mount the camera. So at this point of the installation, what I would do is grab a small piece of tape. And the reason we're doing this is to basically get a test fit to make sure that we are absolutely happy with the location of the camera so you don't mess up your tape. So what I would do, I would put this on here like so. So after you get your tape in place, what I'd actually do is peel back and making sure we are installing this correctly with this being up. Place it exactly in the spot you think you're gonna want it, and then do a quick test fit, hook it up to the camera, look in the app and make sure it's exactly the way you want. So at this point, all we have to do is plug in this wire and then just conceal it in here and leave just a little bit of excess here so that the camera has a little bit of slack and will not get tugged. After you have everything tucked away here, you can go ahead and press your trim piece back up in place like so. And then at this point, we're gonna go hop into the app and check out what the visuals look like on the front and the rear. We are in the FITCAMX app. We're gonna hit the plus button here, hit next. We're looking for something that says car or LHD, so we're going to connect to Wi-Fi. First thing we see here, we see the car DV. I'm going to select this one right here. And at this point, please make sure that the vehicle is on so that the unit is receiving power. All right, so once we've established our connection, we're gonna hit the back button here. All right, so if we tap on here, we can access the live feed of the camera. As we can see here, there's your front view, and in the top left is your rear view. You do have some camera settings in here. You can change to whatever you'd like. So we go back here, but you can see here that we do have the front-facing camera and we also have the rear-facing camera, both views in sight. All right, so when we go into the camera view, you can see each one individually here. Here's your front, here's your rear, so we can actually access the exact footage seen from the rear. And this way you'll be able to kind of see what is the view that your rear camera is seeing. And that way you can adjust the camera up or down if needed. All right, so once you have your camera adjusted, we can see here the adjustment on that rear footage. It's looking a lot better. Make sure you adjust your angle so it will capture exactly what you want. We can see the front view. Front view looks pretty good. We've got the rear view going on back there. So that is how you get everything set up in the app. All right, so now that we love the way this is looking here from the rear perspective, all we have to do now is take that piece of tape off and get it properly installed. As you can see here from my viewpoint, this is going to be sitting right above that rear defrost line there, so I'm feeling good about that. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the installation of the FITCAMX front and rear dash cams for the Acura MDX Type S. It's your boy BT. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.